What makes an effective setting for your story world? What's the simplest and most powerful approach that doesn't trap you in endless world building without meaningful writing progress? In this video, I'm going to give you 3 vital steps I've used for more than a decade in the professional storytelling world to ensure writers' settings amplify the narrative and plant roots in the reader's mind. Links to work with me are in the description below, and now let's get stuck in. And to do that, I want you to imagine the city or the neighborhood that you're in right now and the faces that you pass every day. Think about how those people usually look, and now pinpoint the assumptions and intuitions that you've made about how their look and their energy has been impacted by where they are and what they're usually doing. It doesn't matter if your script or novel takes place entirely inside one room. Its characters should always be responding to, and in some way be shaped by, the world that they are a part of outside those 4 walls. Think of Hogwarts in Harry Potter. Its magical environment directly influences Harry's and other people's behaviors, beliefs, and growth. In a truly captivating novel, film, or TV series, the setting's role is deeper than just world building or backdrop alone. There are 2 vital elements that your choice of setting should also be governed by, and those are the theme and the tone. Every setting carries a story waiting to be unlocked. The first vital step in making yours sing using the environment is to establish and amplify the theme, the narrative's core idea and its tone, the emotional atmosphere that brings your story and its theme to life. So the theme is that question, that central idea that your story asks or explores. And if the theme is the central idea, the tone is how you explore that idea or question through feeling, what it feels like to go through the experience of exploring that theme. And we can look at series 1 of True Detective, The Good One, as an example of this. Its setting is in rural Louisiana, which establishes an atmosphere of hidden menace and decay. And that speaks to the theme that that series explores, the price of truth, which it unpacks in its answer to its establishing and framing question, asking the nature of a true detective and answering it as someone willing to face any darkness to solve a case, including their own. With this theme made clear to us, we can see and understand how Louisiana's industrial sprawling landscapes, dilapidated churches, the thick, oppressive atmosphere of the bayou establish its brooding tone, a tone that helps to dial up and deliver on that theme. The cultural and historical context of Louisiana, with its deep-seated religious and social tensions, amplify the sub-themes of existential dread and that battle between light and dark, which symbolically directly informs its answer to that framing question, its primary theme. Taken all together, this setting therefore reflects and intensifies the inner turmoil of the characters and the story's moral complexities, whether those are big or small. It's all to do with exemplifying the theme, and we can look at other examples. In Stranger Things, the fictional town of Hawkins, with its small-town American charm of the 1980s, clearly sets a nostalgic tone. And this contrasts sharply with the dark and foreboding nature of its supernatural counterpart, the Upside Down. And this dichotomy reflects the show's theme of innocence versus evil and the mysterious forces lurking beneath the surface of our everyday lives. In Lost in Translation, we have neon-lit streets, towering skyscrapers, and crowded cityscapes that also help to emphasize the theme of loneliness and alienation experienced by the main characters. The contrast between traditional and modern aspects of Tokyo mirrors the inner conflicts and cultural disconnection of the protagonists themselves. Dark is set in a small, fictional German town of Winden, a secluded town with dark forests, ominous caves, and brooding skies that set that foreboding tone. It establishes a haunting, melancholic atmosphere that permeates the entire series, creating a sense of both isolation and claustrophobia, which echo the characters' own emotional states. The town's economy and social dynamics are also influenced by a nuclear power plant, and that plant is both a source of employment and prosperity, but also of secrecy and lies, reflecting the dual nature of Winden as both a nurturing and destructive force in the lives of its inhabitants, our characters. So Winden itself is literally a thematic symbol of the cyclical nature of history and human behavior. The town's intergenerational families are cast with their own complex histories and relationships, put the show's theme of fate and free will into characterful action. The setting reinforces the notion that no matter how far the characters venture, they are all inextricably linked to the town's destiny. and the claustrophobic nature of this town where everyone knows each other shapes the characters' interactions and secrets. So the setting itself in Dark becomes a character in its own right as much as a constant reminder of the human characters' shared history and the inescapable nature of their connections in both the physical world and across time. Now, I've used science fiction examples because they're easy to see the elements at work, but these principles will be alive in almost all great stories that we know and love. If you get value from this video, please like and subscribe so I know to make more, and so that YouTube sends this help to your fellow storytellers. Just like us in real life, characters embody their world, however big, small, or strange that world might be. They are its representative, and they should be giving us clues to things we can intuit about it, like where they've come from, their culture, their mannerisms should be giving us clues toward the company that they keep and so on. And this is where effective world-building techniques come in, and we're not going to have time for all of that today, but before I give you a simple challenge that will help you do that, try to apply what we've covered so far to the story that you're writing. First, pinpoint the core theme in your story, whatever that might be. Perhaps it's the cost of ambition or something like the search for belonging. And you can go and watch the Arc Mastery Blueprint video course for a more in-depth lesson on crafting your theme. Then ask, how can my setting reflect or contrast that theme? And finally, dial up your tone to exemplify the theme and provide a feeling and experience that ultimately echo your thematic conclusion, the thing you're driving to by your story's end. Now, whether your story's set in a city or a rural location, in our world or one that you've made up, world building is always going to be required in some degree to make it feel real, compelling, and vivid. At a bare minimum, that means considering the following and how they affect your story's locations and inhabitants. What's the climate and geography? Because those create resources shaping how societies and cultures evolve. Weather volatility or harmony and proximity to danger, scarcity, or abundance will shape people's values, disposition, and often ideologies too. Those tend to create social and power structures. Access to resources means opportunities for wealth and well-being, informing social stratification and people's pursuits in daily life. And of course, the differences in people's access to resources and their differing goals creates factions, subcultures, beliefs, and even faiths. Now, it doesn't matter whether your story is set in the present day, in a city or a school. You'll still need to clearly establish a sense of place and the relationship that the characters in your story have with whatever their world is. It could be set in London or New York right now, and the economic climate and literally the weather are going to directly inform the lives of everybody in those cities. And when people do come from different positions and experiences in that story world, they're of course going to have different beliefs and different opportunities. And you can create characterful conflict in engaging scenes just by leveraging those characterful differences alone. Your final step is to give your setting an unforgettable signature, the world-building hook. This is one striking element, or maybe more than one, that makes your world instantly recognizable and keeps it rooted in the reader's mind. This is most obviously happening in genres like science fiction, fantasy, or horror, because those are high concept worlds. But even in low concept stories where the settings and stakes are more intimate, you want to be thinking about why your reader or audience are going to be excited to return and ultimately dwell in your story world for hour after hour. And some form of mystery is often a simple way to keep them engaged. True Detective has its brooding take on Louisiana. Stranger Things has the upside down. In the TV series Dark, as we touched on earlier, its world-building hook is temporal complexity, the town's strange relationship with time itself. Vinden isn't just a geographical location, but it's also a point in time itself. The town's layout and landmarks, its nuclear power plant and cave system are all pivotal in the series' exploration of time travel. So the setting itself is both a physical and metaphysical framework for the story's intricate plot lines and timelines, where the past, present, and future are all deeply intertwined. This obviously won't always be necessary in everything you write, but it's always a good thing to think about. It's going to depend on the genre and the story, and of course the story's format too, whether you're writing for the screen or prose fiction. As an example, a science fiction or fantasy reader is going to expect some kind of world-building hook, a memorable setting, and be frustrated if you don't deliver one, whereas a comedy fan probably won't. So to figure yours out, ask yourself, what is the thing that makes my setting and story world immediately memorable, unique, or compelling. And it's a good idea to pinpoint genre expectations too. What does your audience crave in the genre you're writing? Choose one or more standout elements that best represent and enhance your theme and tone, and try to weave it in early. Introduce your world-building hook ASAP in the first act so that your readers know what's unique about your world to get excited by as soon as possible. We've now covered 3 simple but vital steps to help elevate your settings from being backdrops to being narrative engines themselves. You're going to make sure that they're helping you articulate your story's core theme and serve its tone for a deeper story experience. And you're going to think about how to anchor your world to one or more unforgettable elements that signal the genre and fuel suspense, your world-building hook. And now that you know how to effectively use settings to enhance that story experience, you need to understand how the type of story you're telling has those key genre ingredients that you will need to deliver on for your readers and audiences to feel satisfied. So to learn what those are, just click here. And if you want to watch the full Arc Mastery Blueprint course, click right here.